Hey everyone, welcome back to Unicorn Dust Designs. It was too beautiful not to do an intro outside in this like 70-degree weather in Kansas. So hi you guys, my name is Sammy. If you are new to my channel, we do DIYs, wood signs, and there's always tons of laughter to be had. So if you think you'd be into that, then keep on watching and let's get into these DIYs. All right, so we're gonna start off with a sign. This was $4.99. You guys, this still had the Hobby Lobby tags on the back. And yes, it was cute, but I just liked the bones of it and like how it looked like shiplap wood. So I'm gonna clean this off with a baby wipe, and then we are gonna go straight into painting this. I'm gonna use Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paints. I'm gonna do 2 coats to cover the text on here. And I really love picking these signs up from thrift stores because they are so easy to make over, especially if you're somebody that like doesn't have wood in their garage or like a miter saw or anything like that. These make for great projects that you can easily flip in no time. So after that, I'm going to take my yardstick and I'm going to go ahead and draw these like lines back on. I'm just using a lead pencil. You can use a permanent marker. You could use paint pens. You do you. I'm going to do this. So after I'm done with that, I'm going to grab, this is a folk art stencil. This stencil is so big. If I can find it on their website, I will link it down in the description box for you. But I'm going to use some painter's tape, just tape it down so we don't have it moving anywhere. And taking my stencil brush from Dollar Tree, I'm going to use Rich Black by Folk Art. We're going to use Truffle, Vintage Green, and Agave. Those are all the colors I'm going to use. Now these stencils, I don't work with stencils very often because I do have a Cricut, but I do have to say, if you're somebody that does like craft fairs, or even if you like to hand make gifts, stencils are the way to go because you can reuse them over and over again. And especially if you're doing one color, which I will do next time if I want to use this stencil because this took, a little bit of time. Oh, right here, you guys, when I'm doing the brown paint, there are little leaves that I don't want to obviously get brown. So all I'm doing is taking that painter's tape and I am just covering up the leaves as I go if they're too close to the branches. That way I don't have to worry about my colors mixing together. And I do that with any of like the little pieces that I don't want to mix. So after that, we peel it off. It came out so beautiful. There were absolutely no bleeds with this. I was really happy. And that agave color from Waverly, it's pretty. All right, next I'm going to take some boxwood. This is just from Walmart. I'm going to take some burlap ribbon and we are going to make a simple bow. I'm just wrapping it around twice. I will cut that off. I like to bend mine in half so I know where the middle is. And then I just cut it, little scores on each side. Cut myself a tail that we'll put behind the piece we just cut out. Like I said, I'm going to do an updated bow video for you guys, and I will do it in real time. Nothing will be sped up for those of you that have problems with bows. And now taking that greenery, I'll go ahead and take the zip tie, connect everything together like I do for my wood rounds. And I'm going to spread that bow out. Once I know it's where I want it, then I'll cut that excess of the zip tie off. You can get zip ties on Amazon, at Dollar Tree, anywhere you'd like. And then I just tack a couple pieces of hot glue on the greenery so that I know that it's not moving anywhere. I'm going to go old school with some Gorilla Glue and hot glue, attach that to the top of my sign, and we are done. Oh no, I do add a piece. Do you see where that hole is right there? Do you see that right there? Yeah, I could not stand it. I couldn't, so I added a piece, but I mean, you guys, a $4.99 sign, and I can take this now and sell it in my booth for $30. So, I mean, it's crazy what you can do. And if you just want it for your own home decor, let me know what you think. All right, you guys, that was the first thrift flip. Now, I tried to find items that I feel like can be found at many thrift stores, candlestick holders, the rolling pins I find all the time at Salvation Army, not so much Savers, but Salvation Army, I find them at a lot. And then you have old signs that are from like Hobby Lobby and things like that, that are easy, quick flips, picture frames. And these are also things that like you could find at Dollar Tree too. So I just wanted to show you some super easy way to turn them into some modern usable decor, maybe some things that you could flip and sell. So you guys, if you're digging this video, then make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you check out my Sammy Veltri at Home vlog channel. It's down in the description box for you guys. Okay, honey. Mom life, spring break. So you guys, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you back here next Tuesday. Bye.
Next one, we have a candlestick, and we have this wood round piece my girlfriend gave me for free. So in total, this project's going to cost us around $2. So I am going to take this as a Pioneer Woman napkin. And I got this was like last year clearance for 4th of July. I am going to cut our flower out. You guys, there were so many times I was like, why did I choose to decoupage this? Because it takes forever to cut it out if it's an intricate design. But I will say, before you start cutting it out, I would go ahead and separate the two plies. It's a lot easier to cut out, and then you don't take the chance of ripping it when you do separate the two plies of napkins. And you'll see what I'm talking about right now. I spread it apart right here, and I did that because I knew there were going to be some thin pieces, and I didn't want to take the chance of ripping those pieces when I went to go separate it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting this up, getting it to where I want to be. Then I'm going to take polyacrylic. You could use Mod Podge as well. And I'm just going to put a little bit right here just to kind of start it off. And I'm going to pat that down. Do not rub. It's the same thing as like tissue paper. If you rub that baby on, you are going to rip her, okay? So now I'm going to put some more polyacrylic down. And I'm going to lay that napkin. Ooh, isn't that so beautiful? And I loved the natural wood. I did not want to paint it. I thought this napkin looks so good with this wood color. So now I'm just trying to get those edges down. I did sand the excess off, and now taking polyacrylic and a chip brush, make sure your polyacrylic is water-based. I am going to do 2 coats on the top of this, and I do 2 coats because this is going to be a tray. I want it to be durable. I want people to be able to set items on it, and I want there to be able to be wear and tear on it. So now taking this candlestick holder, I loved the patina on here, but you guys, this project wasn't originally supposed to be decoupaged. So I had to go a different route, but don't worry, I have another one of these, so we're good. So I'm taking, I think it's Nautical Blue by Folk Art, and I painted that up 1 coat. Now taking my awesome DIY white wax, look at all those details popping out at you. Y'all, I love what wax can do for a project. It's like, like a girl, we put on some foundation, but then we put on that mascara and you're like, yes, girl. Okay, anyways. Now I'm turning this around. Don't worry, I sand that off. That's what it was supposed to be before the disaster happened. So you guys, I sand that off. I'm going to take my STARBOND glue. I'm going to take some Gorilla Glue. I'm going to take some hot glue. I wanted this to stay. And the reason I drilled the hole in the middle was because this candle holder had, like one of those picks in the middle to hold the candle. So yeah, that's it, you guys. I held it down with a paint can and let that dry overnight. And look at how pretty this looks. I love this. It turned out way better. Everything happens for a reason, y'all, okay? It was supposed to be this way for a reason. So our next one is so easy. Rolling pins. Now, I have better luck finding them at Salvation Army. I used to be able to find them at Savers, but not so much anymore. Now, this one was like super rough, so I did have to sand the bigger part, the roller part. down, but these handles, oh my gosh, they were so rough. So when I put this paint over, it just naturally distressed on its own. I didn't have to get a sanding block or anything. And I want it to look old. I want it to look like somebody's like used it, you know, for years and years and years. So I'm taking that same nautical blue. I'm going to do each handle. And I do find that rolling pins sell better when they're painted, unless it's like a very specific rolling pin. Next, I'm going to take my IOD stamps. Now, what I'm laying it on is a cutting mat from Dollar Tree. I taped it down and I'm using the grids in my measuring mat to create an even line. And I'm doing my wording backwards because I'm going to roll this onto my pen. Now, I get my stamps from Vonda at thepaintedheirloom.com. I will leave her link down below. This was my first time attempting this, so you'll see I roll it on and I totally missed the top. So I roll it back. It was a little, you know, a little crooked, but that's okay. And it just adds just a little bit more detail in it. So I'm going to cover the entire thing with polyacrylic. It is just for decorative uses, obviously, but these are great little accent pieces for the kitchen. If you have a tiered tray, if you have Crocs, you could put this in. How I'm going to show you I displayed it is in a pitcher. I wish the pitcher was bigger because you'll see the rolling pin's pretty large. But there's so many things you could do with these. And if you are a reseller, rolling pins usually do well. So you could just see the simplicity, like the distressed handles, says bake on it. Very simple, very classic, and would go with so many different types of kitchens. So this one, you guys, I think I got these for like 25 cents each. They came with these weird pictures inside of them that were like wrapped in plastic on cardboard. I don't know, but they were like 25 cents each. And you can always find picture frames at thrift stores, even Dollar Tree. This is definitely something you could actually do with Dollar Tree frames. So I'm going to paint all three of them. You guys know I have a thing for three. In rich black by Folk Art. I'm going to do the backs, the fronts, and the side. I knew these were going to go in my booth, so I made sure to paint the back of them. And I just do one coat, and then I spray them with clear matte Rust-Oleum spray paint. After that, I take the cardboard pieces, and I just trace them out on scrapbook paper I got from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Now, this is where I find out that the prints aren't actually attached to the cardboard because I start putting my glue stick all over it and then it pops off. And I'm like, oh. So I did keep those as well. You just never know. So I'm just using my glue stick here. I'm going to attach that scrapbook paper. I'm going to do the same thing with all three of them. After those are done, we are just going to pop those babies back into our frame. Easy peasy. I left the backs as is just because, like, I mean, that's the way they initially were sold. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll affect it. If it does, they don't sell, I'll cover the backs. So I'm going to pop those in. Now taking these Dollar General signs, they were only $1. I took the twine out of the staples. I couldn't get the staples off, but regardless, it was no big deal. I am going to go ahead and just put some hot glue on those babies, stick them right in the middle of these frames. And this takes it from a thrift store frame to something that you would see at Hobby Lobby for like $10, $12 each, maybe more. And I made all three of them for probably, let's see, $3.75. Or we'll count the scrapbook paper. So we'll say like $4.50. But aren't those super adorable? And it doesn't look like I got any of it from the thrift store or paid $1 for those signs. So let me know how you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I appreciate you guys spending your time with me. Remember to check the description box down below for links and for my vlog channel, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.
Of course I know starts. Of course I know starts already. What? Can you not sniff my leg up? Oh, no! No. I leave the house for like an hour and then it's like I get a sniff attack. Like, where have you been, Ma? Who have you been around? Anybody touch you? Did you rub your leg on anything?
No. No, Mommy doesn't want to get dirty. Ah, Hank. Be careful. He literally has no idea that there's like a baby in my tummy. Not at all. He doesn't care. She cares. She doesn't like when John touches my stomach. And then there's this guy. Momo. Momo can't hear me. I don't know why I try to say her name. She can't hear me. We're gonna build a leprechaun trap right now. We're just watching this goofy butt. What are you doing?
I want to break the fence.
He wants to break the fence? No, that fence was like that. Spring break. Huh.